Okay, will you please name the groups of people responsible for carrying out our Crumb Clean mission?
Everybody.
Okay, go back and okay, I've got like 12 here, so you is one of them, everyone, what else? Maintenance.
Law enforcement.
Docents. Volunteers.
Interpreters, concessionaires, district staff.
Visitors.
Okay, park aides. How about cooperating association volunteers?
Someone
right?
said that.
How about partners like Semper Byron, Save the Redwood Days? And how about concessionaire employees?
Yep, said that.
And the one that we're going to try and influence the most? Visitors. All right, give them all a
Well, what I want to ask you is, what is this whole thing we talk about today? Is it a ranger issue? Not specific. Is it a visitor issue? How about it's a natural resource management issue? And as park employees, whether or not I pay you or not, or if you're a concessionaire, you're part of the solution, don't be part of the problem. Your job is to educate the visitor. As I said earlier, you educate one, you start educating the village. Once the village understands, before you know it, think about littering, just littering in general. What was that like 20 years ago in society? Where have we come from? What about recycling? What have we done with that? We need to educate folks. So my education, as I said, I've been knee-deep in this for quite some time now. A few sleepless nights trying to wonder how the heck I'm going to do this, or how I'm going to pay for that lawsuit, or what do I have to do if I have to kick people out of the Corps or shut down food service. As I said earlier, we had a general plan here at Big Basin and a tour in May. And in preparation of that, I showed up one day to go walk around the park and get my idea of how I wanted to present the plan to our State Parks and Rec Commission. So I got out of my car after parking in front of the headquarters. I got out of my vehicle and I started walking down the new path towards the store, actually. And within 5 feet of the parking lot, what did I see in front of me? About 20 pieces of popcorn sitting on the trail. Some of them were flattened. I know they're flattened because I bent down immediately and started picking them up. Why? All of a sudden I realized, I'm aware. They're flattened, most of them. Because people have been walking over them for I don't know how long. I don't know how many park employees walked over them. It's my awareness, my sensitivity made me stoop down, even though I'm the superintendent, one at a time, put them on my hand and go throw them away. I never said that to anybody, I just did it. That's what we're talking about. It's the kind of thing we're talking about, that awareness. Do everything I can to make this work. I have been and I'll continue to. Find every dime I can find. I'll rub 2 nickels together and make a quarter if I have to. But ultimately, I'm relying on you to carry it out. Because I'm one person and I can do some, but you can do a lot more than me.
Yeah, I'm going to make a few summarizing remarks, and then we're going to watch the video. That's going to be our last thing that we do for the day. That's a 5-minute video, correct? Okay. So discovery. Discovery is a term that is often associated with parks. Discovery and wonder. And discovery is one of the themes that brought us here today. Discovery that you heard about with the murrelet being the breeding area found in a state park in 1974. And the discovery that we are managing some of the most critical habitat for breeding for murrelets in the southern part of the range. And with that discovery comes newfound responsibility. And I would argue that the way we accept and respond to that newfound responsibility is what makes this department great, and all the people that are here that support this department. It's what makes it great. So what we're doing here today, and what we've been doing, is we're making cultural change, and everybody here is part of it. We are taking something that we've already done. And I just want to point out, we don't need no stinking lawsuit. Right? We've been doing this. We've been doing that. You've been seeing what we've been doing. But what we're doing here is making that cultural change from something that was a smaller program that's been building to something that is now part of our culture, and it's something that we all have a responsibility in. And I really appreciate everybody coming here today. This is a big deal, and everybody, we wouldn't be here if you didn't care about it. So I want to thank everybody that put this on. This was a difficult thing to organize. I especially want to appreciate Portia. Her passion, ongoing, daily passion for this has inspired me. So. I guess we'll watch the video and we're done.
Yeah, and also a big thank you to Mountain Parks Foundation for providing some food and coffee and snacks. Hopefully,
I think this video is awe-inspiring.
it should be saying that right now. Sorry,
Alex, where's your fill-in time?
So something I just wanted to say is, like when I do my campfire programs, I try not too often to say you visitors, you suck, quit doing this. It's we, as much as possible. And a saying that I like is, if not me, who? And if not now, when? So when you're passing by that popcorn, if you can be the one to pick it up rather than saying, maintenance will do it or someone else will do it.
Well, Portia's working on the sound with that segue. How many of you have actually heard a Marble Murrelet? Or actually, how many of you have seen one? Never seen one. How many of you have heard one? This last summer, I was in Butno attending a wedding party late in the evening in the campfire center. And as I was talking to a group of people, all of a sudden, I heard this seabird calling in the middle of a redwood forest. And over conversation, it stopped me. I went, that is weird. And the person in front of me goes, that was a murrelet. I mean, it's that remarkable. If I was at the ocean, I wouldn't have paid attention. But I'm in this forest, and all of a sudden I heard it, and I went, that's out of place. So, it's pretty remarkable when you hear it.
all right, I hope this works, everybody, and you'll be able to hear. If not, maybe move a little closer, as this is planned.
Awe-inspiring. Breathtaking. These are the impressions that come to mind when surrounded by enchanted subtle and fragile, also describe this world. Within this towering sanctuary exists a delicate balance of life and survival. Many thrive in this world, while others face a perilous and uncertain future. One species fighting for survival is a unique little bird, the marble murrelet.
Marble murrelet, being a seabird, spends most of its time in the ocean, feeding on fish, but it's unique among seabirds in that it nests in these old-growth forests, often quite inland from the coast.
The marble murrelet is a small, chubby, black and white bird, which, during mating season, changes to black and mottled brown. It's during this time that a pair will nest high up in the old-growth trees, which can be up to 40 miles inland. Each pair produces only a single egg per season. When the egg hatches, the adult birds take alternating trips to the ocean to feed and bring back food for the young chick. Because each pair has only one chance to reproduce per year, the survival of each chick is critical to the continuation of the species.
Marble murrelets face a number of dangers, both at sea and in the forest. At sea, they're at risk from gill netting, where they can get caught in a fisherman's net. They're also at risk from oil spills, which could occur at any time. In the forest, They're very susceptible to predation by ravens and jays that can take either the egg or the chick in the nest.
A situation made worse by man. In fact, it is becoming critical and has led to the marbled murrelet being listed as an endangered species in California and threatened in Washington and Oregon.
Marbled murrelets need old-growth forest to breed. They require the large trees and the large limbs in a stand of old-growth forest. And as that forest has been cut down and removed over the bird's range, it has less and less available places that it can nest.
Today, after decades of aggressive logging, public access to the remaining old-growth forests in California is limited to coastal redwood parks like this one. As people come to visit and stay in the forest, they also attract the jays and ravens.
Just let that point sink in. All right, Alex. We're back.
The marbled murrelet in the nest. These birds have learned that where there are people, there is food. So they are drawn to areas
Yeah, Alex is going to act out the rest of this film. Drawn to areas where people bring food.
Deep into the forest, where they find a
Yeah,
marbled
I only
murrelet
watched like
chick.
the first 30 seconds of this when I'm moving to Nature Lodge, so I can recite that part again and again and again and again.
All right.
Oh, move. This is stop motion animation of Jay's stealing.
in some parks.
Okay. In the world of technology, we call this a problem. We have this video in our nature center. You can go ahead and stop it.
Yeah, it's in
It
all
stopped
of our
itself, but
nature centers.
It's
Our
all of
nature
our
center.
visitor centers and in the Sempervirens right now.
And on the website.
go ahead and stop. Turn on the light.
Are up to 9
I'm not going to torture us all with this.
Yeah, thank you.
Which website?
I'm looking for pencils myself.
If
You go
you
to Big Basin Redwood State Park's homepage.
if you go to make a reservation on Reserve America, there's an attention bar up at the top now, and it says you're required to watch this video. So I've got it on YouTube. If you search for Big Basin and Marbled Murrelet, it'll come up.
Is it you at the end of the video portion?
That's me. That's my 15 minutes of fame. Yeah.
I want to leave you with some clarifying points. Although this conversation about murrelet conservation originated at Big Basin and brought to us by the Center for Biological Diversity and their contention that our environmental impact documents were insufficient, it morphed into something much bigger than that. And it's okay. Once again, we're already doing it. But the reason you're all here is because it extends to Portola. It extends to Buteno. It extends to Little Basin. It's coming to a park near you. This is just how we're starting to go. So it started at Big Basin, started talking about all of these specific education, enforcement, management, this natural resource protection management plan that Portia's going to be working on. This is a multi-dimensional issue we're dealing with. So whether or not you're a park employee, concessionaire, an association member, a volunteer, a visitor, as I keep saying, you're all part of this, and you don't just have to be at Big Basin. Anywhere in the Santa Cruz Mountains, yes. A suit was brought before the state of California by the Center for Biological Diversity. And through that lawsuit, we negotiated a stipulated settlement that agreed to much of what we already were doing. I never told them that. But also some other things, which I think are completely appropriate, and we will do. But they were much better than the alternative, which was to remove everybody, including everybody serving food and everybody having fun. That's mine. Yes.
We have to become a proactive part of the environment instead of the effect of changing the environment.
Live with
That's what our education is, is, it's not just, yes, feeding the animal is our interaction, but we need to know about what we're doing instead of assuming.
I paid this man to be here. What's the goal of law enforcement or reinforcement? Compliance through education. Do you have to have a star badge or stripes to give education? What's that?
No.
No. You all have a responsibility. As Alex pointed out, if you're uncomfortable, I understand. Think about dogs off leash. Think about all these other things that the ranger said, or the ranger saw, or the ranger knew. You were all the rangers in most people's eyes. It's just the fact. All right. Anything else?
I had a question.
You
What
got a
about roadkill removal? You know, because that seems to be a big attractor for ravens and such. Should we remove roadkill?
Well, we do already in certain areas, in certain places. We have this balance. We talked about this balance before. You know, do we go and should we go, and we asked, should we just go sterilize our environment, our natural environment? Take away all roadkills. Things live, things die, right? Is that what we should be doing? Maybe in some areas. But it's what we want to do.
What are we managing for?
What are we managing for? Why are we here? Why are you here? Yes?
Aren't we talking about something a little bigger than saving just the murrelet? I mean, isn't this really saving an ecosystem and maybe even moreover saving ourselves?
Exactly. And I'll say that we in parks, we kind of follow our mission. We should follow our mission. Our mission is quite broad. And through that, we do a lot of things for a lot of people. And it's for this period of time we call perpetuity. It's a long time. Yeah, it's a bigger thing. It's not just about feeding or leaving food out that the corvids will find. It's the food that you leave out that the raccoons have learned to come and open up your ice chest and pry your locks through your doors almost. Haul off your ice chest. You ever heard that one? I have a couple stories of that. Dragging it by the handle. What?
Yeah, I was just curious, do you foresee this expanding down to the rest of Santa Cruz, Sunset and Mesa? Obviously they don't have the roulette, but I mean, still crumb clean.
The issue of foodstuffs being left for animals is not new to Big Basin. It's not new to Burlettes. As I said, it's an issue that we have. Don't feed the bears. Right? That's gone on for a long time. Wildlife in particular. It's just a concept. It's a notion. It's a culture change that we all need to embrace and just understand. That's why we were doing it long before somebody threatened to sue us. It's the right thing to do. It's part of our mission.
I like what Bill's mentioned about and what you were saying about the bigger picture, because I've had people tell me like, oh, it's just this little bird, but it's about the connectivity and the whole ecological impact. And when we lose animals, there's more impact for the environment than just that one animal. And the with this being the only bird that travels from the forest to the sea, there's a lot of that it brings back from the ocean. So it's important to express to visitors as well the importance of the whole ecosystem.
Spoken well with the man with the Web of Life shirt on. Anyone else? Well, I introduced this group. I said I wanted you to introduce yourselves. And the last thing I